So what are the qualities or attributes that you need if you're going to start your own consulting business and be successful? I'm going to share that coming right up. So this week we are talking about the attributes, the qualities of a management consultant. And if you're thinking of getting into management consulting, starting your own consulting business, here are some things for you to think about. Now, what's prompted me to talk about this? Well, look, I get a bit old and crusty and grumpy about this sometimes, but I think over the last 10 years in particular, there has been this huge upsurge in people wanting to get into consulting and coaching even more so. What's the difference between a consultant and a coach? Well, perhaps Louis, my editor, could put a link up there to a video that explains all of that. But in simple terms, to my mind, a coach is somebody who's working with an individual in a business, around their sort of personal skills. A management consulting is working with the business to improve the results of the business. But there's this huge upsurge in people wanting to be consultants, and to a degree, I think they're being fooled by some of the trainers out there. You can go along to seminars and online programs and learn how to be a consultant, and somehow they're left with this view that, after a weekend seminar, I can be a management consultant. I don't think you can, unfortunately. So let me just run through why I think that and some of the qualities and attributes that I think make a really good consultant. While we're on this topic of online training programs, I've been thinking of doing one for years for people who are wanting to get into management consulting and start their own business. I've got a little bit more time now. Maybe I could do that. So if that's of interest to you, some sort of online education program on how to start your own consulting business and be successful, let me know down in the comments, and I'll see over the next few weeks whether we can actually start doing that or not. Okay, but this video is about the qualities and attributes that you need to be a really good management consultant. Now, the first one, and this is where I see people making way too many mistakes. Knowledge and experience. Think about it for a moment. And you see this particularly in the marketing field. If I'm going to hire a marketing consultant, I know a lot about marketing, all right? I've been to so many training courses. I mean, let's put this in perspective, because you need to be thinking about like this with your potential clients, okay? Don't assume that your potential client is a complete dummy who doesn't know what they're doing. So whilst I run a management consulting company, I have a great deal of interest in marketing, and I have studied marketing probably for the last 15 years, and I kid you not, I have probably spent $300,000 personally on learning marketing techniques, online marketing, events, you name it. And when someone comes along to me as a marketing consultant to help me out with the marketing in my business, I get extremely irritated when it becomes apparent that they really don't know much about marketing at all, and that what they have learned is probably very recent and just from some very basic training. So the first point that I'm making is whatever field that you are consulting in. So my management consulting business is about supply chain and logistics. I spent 20 years in the field, actually in operations of supply chain and logistics, got a master's degree in it before I even started consulting in it. So whatever, look, I'm not saying you wait till you're 40, but what I am saying is that if you are going to be a management consulting in a particular discipline, you are expected to have the experience, the qualification, the knowledge above that of your client. I mean, is that stating the blindingly obvious? Possibly. But you are not going to build a very good reputation as a management consultant in a particular field if you do not have those skills, experience, and qualifications. I'm sorry, but kind of let's break that myth. You need experience and skills and qualifications to do what you do in management consulting. So, friends of mine run IT consulting businesses. They worked in IT for 10, 15 years before they got into management consulting. I have other people who work in financial consulting. They've qualified accountants, they've worked in accounting for donkey's years, and now they advise other businesses on accounting. So, I mean, I'd love to hear your comments down below. Do you think there are some fields where, with actually fairly limited experience and training and education and so on, that you can actually be a value-adding management consultant, that you can actually deliver real value? I'm not sure. I'm a little bit muddled because I'm still bunged up with a bit of flu, but I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm not sure there are many fields where you can actually be a management consultant without a decent amount of experience, to be honest. So that's number one. So in terms of the attributes. Number two, trust. You have got to be totally trustworthy. Management consulting is not an area for BS, all right? This is not an area where you can sort of fly in, consult the client to death with a whole bunch of lightweight nonsense and then fly out again. You will have a terrible reputation. You'll have no repeat business. You've got to be very, very trustworthy. And look, the currency of today in business is trust. If you can build that trusting relationship with your client, where they trust you with their information, they trust you to help them solve particular problems, you're going to have a long and rewarding relationship with your clients. And that's what you want as a management consultant. You don't want individual projects, where you're constantly having to hunt and sell. You want long-term, ongoing relationships with your clients where, you do project number one and then number two and then number three. A lot of our clients in my consulting business have been clients for 10 years or more. I actually completed a project for a client recently who contacted me and said, "Hey, Rob, do you remember 14 years ago when I worked at this company and you came along and did that thing? Well, I'm working over here now. Could you come and do that thing again for us?" Sorry, I'm just going to have to grab a tissue here. Like I say, I'm just getting over the flu, but I wanted to get these videos out to you. So, yeah, you want that long-term relationship, and building trust is a good way to do that. Along with that, number three is integrity. So, doing what you say you're going to do, having your client's interests at heart, treating everything confidential, really, really important. You're a trusted advisor. You're like a doctor. You're dealing with very confidential information. So, you need to have that integrity and trust with your client. Number four, you're not selling widgets. You're not, I was going to say selling cars, but I'll get all the car salesmen having a go at me. You want to be really client focused. And in whatever consulting that you're doing, all the way through the delivery of that service to your client, you've got to be focused on what is the best outcome for this client. And the more I think about it, it is like being a doctor. You're not going to suggest things that are not going to add value for them. You're not going to suggest things that are going to be too hard for them to do. You're going to guide them along the right path in whatever it is that you do to a great outcome. So you've got to love clients. You've got to love service and actually delivering great service. Another key attribute, number five, I reckon, is determination. Determination in so many different ways, because when you're working with a client on a difficult project, giving up is not an option. Sort of saying, "Oh, this is all too hard," is not an option. You have committed to deliver something for your client, and you better deliver it. On another video, I talked about, around integrity, not taking things on that you don't have the ability to do. So that's absolutely critical. But hopefully, you're only taking on work that you feel totally competent to be able to deliver for your client. But if times are tough and you're feeling rough, like you've got flu or something, doesn't matter. You've got to deliver for your client. And, determination is absolutely key. Not just for delivering services to your client, but absolutely the same, growing your business. Because, if you're starting off on your own, it's just you, maybe you've got a business partner with a consulting business, you need a lot of determination in those early years to get that business off the ground and make it successful, because you're delivering services to clients, you're having to do the back office stuff, you're having to plan ahead and grow the business. So you've really got to know what you're doing and be determined and have that commitment to do what you've set out to do. So determination is really, really important. And number 6, I'm just trying to read my notes here. What did I write there? Yeah, good to deal with. What do I mean by that? Let me put this bluntly. If you're a management consultant and you're a complete dickhead, clients don't want to work with you. Okay, if you're not a pleasant person to deal with, you ain't going to be much of a management consultant. What do I mean by that? Look, it's not about laughing and joking and being the life and soul of the party, but it's being a pleasant person to deal with. You're professional. You're not too uptight. You're flexible. You're easy to work with. If you're providing consulting services to a client, make it easy for them. Easy communication. You're easy to reach, get a hold of, easy to communicate with. If I looked, and it's in reverse too. So if I looked at some of my consulting clients at the moment, I'm in the lucky position that I've been doing this for a very long time, and I have quite a successful consulting business. So to a degree, we can pick and choose our clients. But if I looked at our client base at the moment, they're a delight to work with. We're very lucky with our client base. I mean, these guys, if they weren't my clients, I'd be down at the pub with them or having a barbecue with them. They're just really nice people to hang out with. And that's really what you want your clients to be thinking about you. John, Fred, Mary, whatever your name is, they're really great to deal with. Very professional, when you're on the job, very professional, straight to the point, but not too uptight. You're a good person to work with, cool sort of person to work with. And somebody that the client enjoys having a relationship with. So that's a fine balance, I think, when you're starting out in consulting to begin with, because people can go one of two ways. They try to be too matey, too friendly, and lose the professional edge, or they try to be ultra professional and kind of become this stuffed suit. So, try and sort of strike that happy medium. So what do you think? I've just been sharing some random thoughts there about what I think the qualities and attributes of a really good management consultant are. What do you reckon? So I've talked about knowledge and experience. You've got to be trustworthy, you've got to have integrity, you've got to be client-focused, determined, and be a nice person to deal with. What would you add to the list? Love to see your comments down below. If you have any questions on any of this, more than happy to provide some answers for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.